Hey, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, Adrian, Kid Guru here. It's been 5 months since I got to say that, and if there's any recollection of how rusty I've gotten when it comes to like this whole YouTube video thing, I shot this video earlier, and I didn't realize until 20 minutes in that the microphone was not selected, so that was fun. Um, Anyways, it's been a long time. It'll be an explanation for that hiatus, but this is a video to look at 2017 in review with the end of the end of the year and the start of a new year, 2018. I always feel that with the new year's beyond resolutions, the most important thing is reflection and looking back, and that's something I did a lot of this year in general. And I wanted to get this video out there to kind of talk about where we've been, where we are, where we're going. And I say we because I do not exist, my career, my life, without the support of you, the community behind it all. So with that, let's look at 2017 in review, beginning with the 5-month hiatus. For those of you who strictly follow me on YouTube and nowhere else, you should follow me on other stuff, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff in the bio below. I was on a 5-month hiatus because creatively I hit a roadblock when it came to hitting this milestone that is the 1000th video upload. I've been on YouTube now for 11 plus years. This video in itself is the 1000th video I've uploaded to this channel, and it was always an important milestone for me, and I really wanted to perfect the video that was going to come out as the 1000th video. It was set to be a documentary encapsulating everything that has been the last decade of my life. And in seeking to perfect that content and seeking to have like the perfect storm to get that documentary together, I forgot the most important rule of content creating, to me anyways, and that's to simply create, to get stuff out there. And just, while quality is important in the hunt for perfection, sometimes you end up getting nothing done. And that was the case. I had 2 to 3 versions of the video I wanted to upload. I never thought it was perfect enough. I kept on scrapping it and redoing it, and that became the crutch for me to not create any new content on this channel anyways, to not upload any new videos, because I kept on telling myself, well, no, like, I want this one to be the 1000th video, and then I learned to let go of that. That documentary is still going to hit this year soon, sooner rather than later, hoping this January. But I'm not too worried about it being the 1000th video or whatever may be. So I do apologize on that note. But with that being said, I have been up to a lot of other stuff in the last kind of couple months, which has really also taken me away from the content space. So with that, let's start off with the top W's and L's of 2017, starting with the L's, the losses. Content output. Very strictly speaking, my content output this year in 2017 was the least it's ever been. YouTube, it's the least amount of videos I've uploaded annually. For Digital Dojos, it was the least profitable year for my tech content business. We published the least amount of articles, which reflects like if a content network isn't pushing out as much content, then the profits aren't going to be as great. So this was the least profitable year for Digital Dojos. When I say we just got by, I mean we just got by. Like I paid all the bills, no expenses or anything like that. It just we were just getting by. Because I put it on the back burner. ScreenCap, my video client services company, was profitable, did well by all stretches of the imagination. However, in comparison to the 2 previous years, so 15 to 2016, we doubled revenue. 2016 to 2017, we tripled revenue. We weren't on that track to like triple or quadruple this year, even though it was still profitable. So nothing necessarily to complain about, but not breaking any margins that we set out to. Now, outside of that, on a personal level, I think 2017 for me was just a year that, like, the biggest struggle in 2017 was really being, like, homesick and missing home in various forms and various times, whether it was the holidays or just, through the tough times of 2017. I didn't visit home at all in 2017. I didn't go home to Japan. I stayed within the United States. Didn't get to see my parents all year. I didn't... or didn't get to see my friends back in Japan either. Didn't get to visit them for a lot of like really key moments. A lot of my friends graduated this year, and the ones that are scattered across the states. It was just crazy to kind of surreal to see this like moment where all my friends are going off and doing their own things, and to not really like be a part of that. It was this kind of struggle of like when I looked around, especially in the mid 2017, where there was a moment where I really just was overwhelmed by the work, the responsibilities, everything I had on my plate. And I just, kept on asking myself, like, man, like, I wish I could be like a normal 22-year-old. I wish that, I didn't have all these responsibilities. I wish that my only worry was like getting a good grade or passing a test or a class right now. And I would trade anything for that. And I kept on asking myself if I was like fucking up, if I was doing the wrong thing, if I was going through all this stress for no reason. And like to doubt myself more than anything is like the scariest thing, because I'm not into that. I don't like to second guess myself. So it was a really like dark time. But I got through that, and eventually, came to terms with, like, in the beginning, the goal was always to eat. So, figuratively speaking, so why am I sitting here complaining about a full plate? And looking at it from a different perspective and perception, and really changing my mindset when it came to that. So that L eventually became a win for me throughout the year. And that leads me into the W's, right? Financially speaking, despite the least amount of output in terms of content, it was financially my best year ever. And majority of my income, including salaries, was made from my investments in 2017. It was a big year for my investment space and, my portfolio. I diversified it, especially in the crypto space. I've been in cryptocurrency for the last 4 years, but this year it really took off. I had really high points of like selling early on, rebuying in, and then holding on, and my, portfolio gaining significantly, in some cases 10x. So just that space alone was a really, really huge achievement for me in 2017, and something I continue to focus more and more on as time goes on. And that's really where a lot of my time and resources were put into diversifying that, just really handling what all of that meant, and how to safely, allocate that, and so on and so forth, all the responsibilities that kind of come with that. Work-wise, for my part-time job with a startup by the name of Eden, I'm an IT consultant for them. I really kind of found my stride in 2017. I really kind of found my groove with all my clients. I have like 4 different clients who I tend to throughout the week, and just kind of playing all those different roles as the IT guy. It was really at first a struggle, and finding how that mixes into everything else that I'm doing for, my businesses. It really, kind of came to fruition this year. And mind you, to give you an idea and a sense of where I was the year before, in just moving to San Francisco, the previous year was just me settling into the States, right? Like, it was all new to me still. And in 2017, it was about, okay, I've been here for a year. How do I start planning my roots? Like, first year was me getting adjusted, me getting familiar with everything. Now that I'm familiar, now that I've like had some sense of like establishing a home here, a home base, how do I, start making my mark? And that's what a lot of this year was, for me anyways. I also learned to kind of like let go of like control for like my businesses, and to learn to kind of automate a lot of things. I hired a colleague for a personal assistant position, which really helped me in terms of productivity. And a big part of early 2017 was me letting go of certain responsibilities, and turning to other people who could do it much better than I. Because a big thing I learned was I can't be at all these places. I can't handle all these responsibilities. And I'd rather, hand those to people who can and who are better than me at doing it. And that was like a really big, win for me overall. And lastly, just, developing hobbies outside of work, whether it was like trying to learn music, play instruments, or like reading. I did a lot of reading in 2017. I think some of my favorite books: The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Ray Dalio's Life and Work Principles, and We Learn Nothing, a collection of essays by the author's name is escaping me right now. But just a collection of books that were just really great reads that I got to get through this year. Just learning to do more stuff for me. Ultimately, like, it was making more time for myself, whether that meant like doing nothing and being okay with that, like being okay with just being bored. Whether that meant like getting out and getting outside of my comfort zone. Like, I'm an introvert by nature, but in a way forcing myself to experience new things and seeing how, that fared. Just making more time for myself, not using time as a crutch, not saying, I can proudly say in 2017, I never once said, like, I'm too busy to do this or do that. I might have said no, or I might have declined an invite, but I've never used the excuse of being too busy to do something. Outside of that, let's talk about lessons learned in 2017. I learned that you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And that's a really big part of what I'm taking with me into 2018, the importance of focus in the things that you want to do in life as a whole. I also learned in 2017 that in times it's okay to be stagnant. And this is coming from somebody who always thought life is about moving forward, and I hated the idea of complacency. But I had to become stagnant at one moment in 2017, or a majority of 2017, because I had to learn to see the bigger picture. I had to learn to soak things up in the moment and see the bigger picture of where I was going and be okay with that. To be open to new situations and scenarios is another big thing for me on the personal level in 2017, just to be open-minded when it came to that sort of things, and just, exploring all the possibilities, just like personally, like traveling, going around in the United States, making more time for that, spontaneous last-minute trips, meeting new people, taking advantage of living in a city like San Francisco and everything that has to offer. I think the last two important lessons are, that we are in control of everything when it comes to our lives, in the sense of we can't control things that happen to us. We can't control these external forces, but we can always control how we react to things. And whether we take that well or not is our decision. And how we adapt and how we learn is up to us. And on that same token, one thing I really kept with me throughout 2017 is don't apologize for being great, right? If you were good at something, strive for greatness. Don't settle for good. And if you are great, then do not apologize. Be unapologetically the best version of yourself that you can be. And don't be ashamed of what the external forces think or say or do because of your success or because of your ambition or because of whatever. Because it's your life, right? They're not the ones who have to live it. They're not the ones who have to put in the time or the effort or the work. That's you, and that falls on you. So don't apologize for that. With that, I think I just want to round off with the current situation and what you can expect coming into 2018. From me, from this channel, from everything that I do on the internet. I still currently work part-time with a company by the name of Eden, like I said, as an IT consultant. I put in like 20 to 30 hours a week, depending. And that's something that I do, honestly, to kind of get away from my actual work, if that makes any sense. It's something that it's also just become a very kind of like anchor for me, like socially, professionally. It gets me around the city, gets me outside the house. And that's something I'm looking to see where that role plays in the future for me, and how much more responsibility I'm willing to take on or ultimately not take on. We'll see. I still have digital dojos. I still have screen cap. And while those are still very important aspects of my business, I know now more than ever with my goals and where I'm going forward, while content and while I always still want to be creating and doing things like these YouTube videos, I know to focus on the other things that I want to do in the other spaces I want to expand into. I can't do everything. And eventually some of those things are going to have to either take a back seat or just completely be scrapped in order to allow me to work on new projects. And it is coming to that point where I know that more than ever. So I'm just trying to find that right point to transition. I love tech. I'm still very passionate about technology. I obviously, have that part-time job in tech and I live in the Bay Area. But I do also want to break outside of tech. I want to expand in 2018 to do lifestyle content, and that's something that I've been planning all 2017 to launch my lifestyle YouTube channel and kind of grow that and see how that goes. And in general with creation and content creation, I always want to be creating, whether I'm getting paid or not, whether it's a business or not, whether there's YouTube or not, as long as there's a platform and people willing to listen, I want to be creating things that matter. I want to be putting out things into the universe that I think matter and want to say and share. And I want to take my creation to the next level. I want to take my content to the next level. I want to produce more quality-based content, not just in tech, but like I said, in other areas of interest. And I want to explore that. I want to give you more behind-the-scenes look at the day-to-day things that go on with all of this. I want to give you more consistency across the board with my content and higher quality, of course. So, for example, like with this Lego Cool Man channel, this is my personal channel. This channel will always allow me to do things like vlogs and things of that nature. I don't know if I can promise you any like daily vlogs, that level of consistency, but I do want to continue to give you more content as to what's going on in my life and what's going on with the world around me, whether it's my businesses or personal life or what have you. I want to continue to, like I said, up the quality of my content, the standard that I set for myself to produce videos. I want to do more short docs. I want to do, just visual projects that I've always wanted to kind of, experience and learn and push that envelope. And I really, really want to use 2018 to do that. On a personal level, I want to match my business ambitions with my personal life. I want to take a lot of when it comes to my business, I don't second guess myself. I don't, I'm confident in my abilities, and I want to kind of mirror that in my personal life. And ultimately, I just want to become a bigger player in long-term goals. I want to expedite those, whether it's like a 5 to 10 year plan. I want to ask myself, why can't I do that in 1 to 3? A big part for me in 2017, like I mentioned, was the investment space. That is something in fintech, like financial tech, is something I'm really, really interested in right now. That space along with lifestyle. And that's why, for me anyways, it's something that I'm really, really looking forward to coming into in the years to come. I want to give other people the opportunity to build out their ideas, build out their businesses, and financially back those at an investor level. I started in YouTube by taking my $20 of allowance and buying a webcam, and that was the single best investment I made to date back in 2006. And everything since then has been to get to a position where I can do that at a much, much, much bigger level. So to become a bigger player in that space is really important for me as time comes on, to kind of share what I've learned and enable others to do the same, and provide not just knowledge, but financial, backing to people's ideas. So yeah, that's kind of the roadmap right now. I know it's kind of all over the place. We kind of looked at a lot of what happened in 2017, the wins, the losses, where we're going, the lessons learned. But I think that's what the New Year's are about. More than resolutions, more than goals, it's about reflection. And I hope and wish all of you out the best on your endeavors, whatever they may be in 2018. I hope you can kind of take some of this as insight and use it to, push yourself. And remember that, while it's important and it's nice to have a calendar change and a fresh start, you don't need a calendar date to enact change in your life. You can do that whenever. And I just hope that, you're all excited as I am for a lot of the stuff to come. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be pushing out some content. It was really nice to kind of take a step back in 2017 to kind of really absorb everything and take a look at where I want to be going. And then from here on out, just kind of, full steam ahead. As I always say at the start of the new year, onwards and upwards. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart, with the most sincerity that I can, come across a webcam on the internet. None of this would have ever been possible without the support of you all, the community, whether it's here on YouTube or across whatever network you follow me on, the likes, the comments, whatever. You all are the reason I continue to do what I do, and will continue to do so no matter the platform or medium. Thank you all so very much. I'm wishing you all a very happy new year, and I look forward to what's to come.